Well, let's check in at Comiskey Park with our Eric Collins. Plenty of pregame activity as the Sox are getting set to honor number 72, Carlton Fisk. Eric?
Yeah, Amy, we're just getting ready for Carlton Fisk to have his number formally retired. It's just going to be a couple of more minutes, but right now we're going to talk a little bit about his career with the man who saw a good majority of those games while he's playing for the White Sox, Bill Gleason of the South Bend Tribune. Bill, it's probably a big day for you, too, seeing so much of Carlton's career and now watching the ultimate honor in White Sox history.
It's a magnificent day for Carlton. I just wish things had gone a little better with the ball club this year, and there would have been 47,000 people here to salute him. He is one of the great figures in Chicago sports, just not in baseball. When he was signed by the new ownership, and I was down there that day at Sarasota, I think it was March 10th of 1981, and Eddie Einhorn, who then was the spokesman, he said that we have an announcement to make. In an old Payne Park, we just walked down along the right field line up against a little wire fence, and he told us that the White Sox had signed Carlton Fisk. And it was truly a great day for Sox fans. It gave them something to look forward to as opening day was approaching. And then 20 days later, they signed a Chicago guy, Greg Luzinski, and they instantly transformed the baseball team. Carlton Fisk is, well, everyone knows, is one of the great players, will be in the Hall of Fame. But for me, he also was a great guy. Some people didn't like his bluntness, his candor, but I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. You always knew where Carlton stood. Carlton was an upright guy. And they always talked about the New England rectitude. I think that's a lot of nonsense. He just is an honest man, and he's not going to tell you or me or Jerry Reinsdorf, anybody, what we want him to say. He's going to tell us what he wants to say. And his character is magnificent, and I would love to see him back in baseball. Not necessarily as a manager. I don't know if he could put up with the players of today. You remember the thing where he criticized a batter on the opposing team and gave him a lecture on how to behave himself at the plate. Well, the guy was batting. I thought that was magnificent. But I think Carlton would be a marvelous general manager. I think he's a very bright man. He's educated, and
do you get the sense that that's something he may be interested in doing?
No, I haven't asked him about it because there were so many questions over there. I just stood on the fringe and sort of listened and read lips. And it would be great, Joe, just to have his person in baseball. It would do baseball a lot of good, whether he's here, whether he's in Boston, whether he's someplace else.
Bill Gleason, thanks for talking to us. And now, the man we've been waiting for, Carlton Fisk, is coming out. He's being announced, and I guess for the rest of the ceremonies, we'll leave it up to the public address announcer, Gene Honda.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the White Sox are proud to welcome back a White Sox player who will always hold a special place in the hearts of Sox fans. A player who finished his career as the Sox all-time leader in home runs with 214. Ranks 6th in runs batted in with 762 and extra base hits with 442. Is 8th in games played with 1,421 and 7th in total bases at 2,143. 10th in runs with 649 and 9th in bats with 4,896. Also 10th in hits with 1,259. His 128 career stolen bases leave him as the only catcher in modern baseball history to top the century mark in both homers and stolen bases. He's joined by Yogi Berra and Johnny Bench as the only catchers in baseball history to collect 300 or more home runs, 1,000 runs, and 1,000 runs batted in. He'll be eligible for induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1999 with a class of players that includes Nolan Ryan, Robin Yount, and George Brett. Please welcome a player whose career with the Sox spanned from 1981 to 1993, who holds the Major League record for home runs by a catcher with 351, holds the Major League record for games caught with 2,226, was an 11-time American League All-Star, holds a White Sox lifetime batting average of .257 and a career batting average of .269 with 376 home runs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome number 72, Carlton Fisk. Carlton is joined on field by his wife Linda and their children, daughter Carlin and her husband John McAvoy, son Casey and his wife Tracy, and daughter Courtney. Now here to make a special presentation to Carlton Fisk, please welcome White Sox Executive Vice President Howard Pizer.
Welcome. It is my privilege to represent the White Sox organization, White Sox fans, and indeed baseball fans everywhere in recognizing Carlton Fisk's achievements and honoring Carlton and his beautiful family today. March 10th, 1981 was a very significant day in White Sox history. That was the day that Carlton Fisk signed his contract with the White Sox. And what a thrill it was for Sox fans. Yes, it was the same Carlton Fisk, the Carlton Fisk, who was coming to Chicago. It was the same Carlton Fisk who hit that dramatic home run in the 12th inning in the 1975 World Series. That is indelibly etched in the minds of baseball fans. His signing sent an electric shock through sports fans in Chicago. And this electricity and the thrills of that moment continued for many years. It's probably an understatement to say that Carlton has a flair for the dramatic. But he was able to start his Chicago career in pretty dramatic fashion. Opening day, Fenway Park in Boston, 3-run home run, wins for the White Sox. Four days later, opening day, Comiskey Park, grand slam home run, beats the Brewers. And that was only the beginning. Carlton Fisk thrilled Sox fans for 13 seasons in Chicago. He ranks third in White Sox history with 214 home runs. He set career highs in 1985 with 37 home runs and 107 RBIs. As I review a few of the highlights of his career, it's very important to remember that it isn't just a celebration of his 24 seasons catching in the major leagues. It is important to emphasize not the length of his career, not the quantity of his years in baseball, but the quality he brought to baseball. He came prepared to put on a quality performance every day. In an era where we're seeking role models for our young people, Carlton Fisk stands out. He set an example of hard work, diligence, effort, and pride in creating a Hall of Fame career. And there were, among others, some extraordinary results. Just a few to mention: the 1972 Rookie of the Year and Gold Glove winner, the baseball record for home runs by a catcher, one of 3 catchers in baseball to have had 300 home runs, 1,000 runs, and 1,000 RBIs, and he's in pretty good company with Johnny Bench and Yogi Berra. Baseball's all-time leader in games caught with 2,226. He finished his career with 2,356 base hits, 376 home runs, and 1,330 RBIs. He won 3 Silver Slugger Awards, and the ultimate accolade of the fans, he was an 11-time All-Star. On behalf of the White Sox organization and White Sox fans, thank you, Carlton, for your wonderful career, and thank you for spending it with us in Chicago. We'll soon be seeing you in Cooperstown. In addition to his retired number jersey, we have this photo montage of his career with the White Sox, which I hope he will always treasure. Carlton, thank you.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you, Howard. That's a lot of stuff you read there. Wow. I just would like to say just a couple of things. The fairy tale life that we play this game with happened a long time ago and far, far away in New Hampshire. And it's taken me a long road. And as in all fairy tales, there are some scary parts and some very uncomfortable parts. But thanks to you folks here today, this fairy tale, as all fairy tales, has a happy ending. Thank you again for your appreciation and all the support that you've provided me throughout my career. Thank you.
Sox jersey, number 72.
Sox fans, there's really not much more you can say. Carlton Fisk, immortalized here at Comiskey Park. You can toss the names along with Nellie Fox, Luke Appling, Harold Baines, Minnie Minoso, Louis Aparicio, Ted Lyons, and Billy Pierce. But now number 72, Carlton Fisk, forever here at Comiskey Park. It's a wonderful day for baseball. Amy, Dave, back to you guys.
Sure is, Eric. Short but very sweet from Carlton Fisk.
That was a very eloquent speech. And Amy, I think he could get behind the plate today. He looks in great shape. And I think that was one of the keys to his, he just stayed in great shape throughout his career. And longevity is the key to success. And what a great player.
Especially for a catcher to be down on your knees like that for so many years. After this break, we'll hear from the man who inherited the Sox catching job from Carlton Fisk. Ron Karkovice chats with Eric, and the White Sox pregame show continues.